But the other thing is, I'm like, you doing home inspections, I mean, there's got to be some kind of risk or liability to you as a home inspector.
Absolutely.
And if there is, how do you kind of handle that, or how do you protect yourself?
Welcome to the Profit Dig Construction Show. We're back here with Wally, Rankin, my buddy Jeff Spencer. We appreciate you tuning in. And if you're ever looking for an application, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we have a great software as a service application. Maybe you don't want to spend $70,000 on some of those other companies to generate bids and track your P&L, generate reports, but we've got a great app. That's $99 a month. Check us out at profitdig.com. Like I said, we're here with Wally Rankin from Trout Creek Inspections. Jeff Spencer, we had a topic a few minutes ago, and I saw your eye kind of twitching a little bit. I knew you were eager to ask some interesting questions. So what was on your mind?
Well, I just listened to Wally talk about, how important it was to do home inspections and things to look for, in an inspector. And I understand, how important it is, excuse me, to get that right up front, because, this could be your one and only purchase, for a home. So you want it to be the best it could possibly be. And if there's any issues, you want to know that up front, because it's going to affect the price and how long you're going to be before you move in. But the other thing is, I'm like, you doing home inspections, there's got to be some kind of risk or liability to you as a home inspector.
Absolutely.
And if there is, how do you kind of handle that, or how do you protect yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest things is in how the home inspector articulates in their report any sort of limitations or any sort of issues that where they couldn't get to an area or they couldn't see something. 90% of the houses I go in nowadays are chock full of furniture.
Yeah.
You know how it is when you move into a new house, you move the furniture out and surprise, there's a hole in the wall. Well, when we're doing inspections, I can't move couches.
Right.
It's a visual inspection.
Oh, is that a legal limitation? You're not allowed to
legally,
move?
I'm not allowed to move anything without any type of documented. Sometimes we'll get where we're way out in the middle of nowhere and I can't pull the attic ladder down because they have a stack of boxes right underneath it. So then I'll contact my office manager. Office manager will contact them and say, hey, we need permission to move these boxes so we can get up in the attic. And then we'll get written permission back from them saying,
okay,
yes, you're allowed to do that. But in general, we don't touch or move anything.
Now, kind of the same thing, like you're talking about the attic. Just say you was inspecting, like in a living room or dining area, or something's up against the wall. Maybe it's a piano, maybe it's a couch, and you find some moisture.
Yep.
And it traces all the way to that piece of furniture. Do you contact them to try to trace it and see as far as it goes, or you just stop there and note what you found?
Stop there and note what you found.
Okay.
Many times, especially if you're on a living level and you're looking at a couch and there's moisture that's down by the floor and it works its way up to the couch, that's going to show itself in the crawl space or basement.
Okay.
So then what we'll do is when I go to the crawl space or the basement, when I work to that area, I'll pay special attention to that area and see if maybe we can see if that moisture has moved further than that couch, or where is that moisture coming from. I used to be a police officer, so it's a little bit like an investigation. You're taking all the steps you can to try and find, what's the cause of this. As a home inspector, we're not required to figure out what the cause of it is, but I feel like a good inspector is one who's going to take the time to figure out what's causing the issue.
All right.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, and let's take a situation where there's a he said, she said kind of situation, and you have to prove that you either did or did not do something.
Yeah.
Is it just a matter of documentation saying, hey, I couldn't do this. here's why, here's a picture, here's the explanation?
Correct.
Or is there even something beyond that where you have to have some type of legalese in your document?
There is in our documentation that people sign the agreement. We have a big, long legal agreement that they have to sign prior to us even doing the inspection. And it basically explains what our limitations are. But also, as part of that inspection, part of my job to limit my liability is to explain and take photos of any type of limitation that I have. So if somebody does come back on me and, hey, we moved into this house and there's a water leak and, you know, you didn't catch this. Well, then we go back to the report, we find out what's going on, send it to them, here's what we have, and then go from there. I just recently had a real estate agent. I inspected her personal house for her up on the Tennessee River. Well, the day before her inspection, we had gotten 8 inches of snow. And I drove up to her house, did the inspection.
So would you consider that like an optimal time to do an inspection because you can discover issues more easily?
Yes and no. For roofs in Tennessee, it's not optimal because you can't get on the roof when there's snow.
True, yeah.
Because what we were talking about before, most everything has over a 512 in Tennessee. You're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Especially with how much we have where it'll snow and melt. And that makes for a slick surface, so you're asking for trouble. But she came to me and she said, hey, we had a roof leak a couple weeks ago, and I was angry at you. And she said, I pulled up your report and saw there was 8 inches of snow on the roof, and then I understood what was going on. So we have to make sure that we document everything. Yeah.
You think she would have come after you?
I think she would have strongly questioned me.
Yeah. There's a possibility.
I think it's possible.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeff Spencer, any other burning questions in your mind?
No, I'm sure there's some more, but we're getting close time on video now, so we'll just save that for.
Okay.
Kind of, and before you wrap up, kind of to your question, Tennessee and Florida are the 2 most litigated states for home inspectors. Yeah, so if you're going to be a home inspector,
Get ready for the battle.
you want to live in one of those 2 states,
Yeah.
you can expect to be sued.
Cross your T's, dot your I's.
For
if
sure.
you can.
Yeah,
Okay.
for
Or your lowercase j's,
Yeah.
right? Anything that can be dotted, you dot it, all right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thank you, Wally.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And Jeff for those very intriguing questions. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Check us out at profitdig.com. If you're looking for some home inspections in the greater Middle Tennessee area, check out Trout Creek Inspections. We really appreciate you. Have a good evening.